Do you have the agenda
What's
handy, Bill?
going on here? The lost system resources. I don't have anything running, so I don't know where all these resources are going.
If you're on a laptop, you might need to plug it into a AC power supply.
Oh yeah, it's powered up. I guess I think it needs a new battery. I've been trying to avoid that step, but anyway. All right, so let's see. Notice of vacancies. Review volunteer response forms received. Are they in this package here somewhere, Beth?
Chairman Cadigan, we haven't received any yet.
Okay.
I'm
That's like when
Yeah.
the door don't hit you. You have to.
Yeah. I'll put something on Facebook. I
gotta
didn't
give
get to it
Dave-
yet.
I want to give Dave a compliment. I watched the video of the last meeting the other day, and you did a nice job trying to recruit Dave. I like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of good it did, though.
Well,
I thought Cindy was going to jump at it because she seemed interested at the meeting. But anyways,
All right. I don't know of any additions or deletions to tonight. Why don't we look at those minutes, which Beth said were complex.
They're very long.
yes.
I think of where.
yeah, I took a stab at them, and I'm probably not a stab, I'm more of a hatchet. I cut off a bunch of stuff, and sent it to Beth, I think, on Monday. I don't know if you incorporated any of those changes.
They were all incorporated, and I re-uploaded the minutes. And as I was waiting for the meeting, I noticed a few more grammatical type things, run-on sentences and that. So.
Oh, you're kidding. Run-on sentences in our minutes?
I know.
I had an English teacher once, and if you had a run-on sentence, you got an automatic F.
Oh, all right. So yeah,
It was pretty drastic.
yeah. So
But
it isn't.
everybody was very careful.
Bill, since there's more changes, do you want to just put these off until next meeting?
It's up to you. I can then, the changes I made were just basically deleting 4.3, where I repeated myself and said that public outreach on this project it's going to be handled by the town administrator and the water superintendent. And then I wrote again, and organizing outreach. So I just basically deleted those 3 words.
Okay.
And
you incorporated the changes that I recommended?
Everything, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Does anybody else have any changes they wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, we could put it off till the next meeting, which is what, November 30th now?
November 2nd.
Second, yeah.
Yeah, there is an application for a public hearing on the 2nd of November.
Oh, so there's a November 2nd.
Yeah, so it's not that far off.
Yep.
So want to redistribute those, Beth, and we'll take a little look at them?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, great. I'm trying to think of what else.
Oh, if I may, board member Sean Pearson is absent tonight with notice. So you may want to appoint Mr. Funioli.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll appoint Mr. Funioli as a voting member for the purposes of this hearing tonight.
Thank you.
It's very appropriate since he signed the one in 2005.
Yep. I've got a comment on that.
So 4 out of the 5 that were in 2005 are here tonight. That's pretty. Either we have no life or we're dedicated. One of the two. I'm not sure.
One or the other, right? So let's talk a little bit about this goofy modification of the age restricted housing bylaw. And what's that under correspondence?
It's on the 3.1 work session.
Do you want me to put it on screen, or you have 5 minutes, but
Is that where they crossed out the conservation thing?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deleting.
That was, when I first read that, I didn't understand it. It didn't seem like it was appropriate. But
Which one is that
Yeah.
now?
Are you looking at the red line version?
Yeah, I mean, my concern was it basically said, planning board, in their judgment, can do whatever they want, is how that line read to me. And I didn't, I thought that was, there need to be, like, when we do things, we have, you know, the A through G things to go through. When we
Right.
do special permits, I think there needs to be a similar thing on the planning board side, not just in their judgment. If they think this is a good idea, they can do what I think remove the conservation easement or whatever. That just struck me wrong.
Yeah. Well, my main problem is that they still haven't reduced the land area in the downtown commercial district, which is kind of what I was.
and you would think they'd allow town water. I don't understand this thinking.
I mean, it's still at 2 acres, and there's really no 2-acre lots in the downtown commercial district.
But really, all they're sending, this referral notice is basically just is striking a couple of items. So, you know, the things that we're talking about now, Bill, aren't on the table for them, but maybe should be at some point, another modification.
Well, when are they, I mean, there's no sense in doing 2 modifications when you could combine them into one.
Exactly.
And when were they
Oh,
proposed to put
Oh,
this
this
on?
isn't already done? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was already done and they were just making one amendment to it.
Yeah, we've already passed the bylaw. That was a couple of years ago.
Yeah. But the referral is only for specific things, not the whole bylaw that's as written.
Yeah.
Brendan, Bill, I'm gonna defer to you because I know you're invested in that bylaw and the whole concept. So I haven't followed, so I'm gonna defer to you on it. Whatever you want to say about it.
Yeah. So the review form or something we're supposed to submit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mandatory.
Did anybody find that?
I can put it on the screen, but you only have 2 minutes, so. I'm
Yeah, we
happy
have that
to-
hearing. We could put this off till after the hearing's over. I don't think that's gonna take that long.
Okay. All right. Forget about it for now.
Okay. But if you have it, it's just for reference, if you want, it's in 3.0 work sessions. You click on that folder and it's in there.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Okay. So how are we at? 1 minute left?
All right. Trying to think of what else we had. Has anybody else looked at or heard from the planning board about their idea for the MBTA adjacent community thing?
Nope,
Oh.
I haven't. I mean, yeah, I was reading something in the town I'm in now in Westford. They're going through the process too.
Yeah. Well, they picked a couple of lots that are on the Pepperell line behind the Hannaford.
Oh, I like that idea. I thought that was appropriately placed if they go for it. But
Well, my only problem is it's near the river. It's wetlands. It's I don't think it's a realistic answer to the what the DHCD wants. So
Yeah, I mean,
I
we
mean,
spoke,
maybe-
yeah, we spoke about that after our meeting, at the end of our meeting last time. And, there's a lot of positives. I mean, the owner actually approached the town, and asked if they'd want to buy it for that purpose.
mhm.
It's pretty good sized land amount. They could go in, you could buffer themselves from, and hopefully they could even tie in with the Pepperell water, the sewage system if they have access to it,
Mm.
just like Groton did. So that's what I was thinking, but
You know, no matter how crappy that lot may be, we're dealing with very little, but we're going to be required to comply with the state's mandates. So we may be looking at some properties and lots and stuff that aren't going to be anywhere near ideal, that we might have to press into service just to meet those mandates.
yeah, I don't think anything is ideal based on the new state statute. It's just don't
Yeah.
think it's good. But anyways, Bill, we're up on the clock on the hearing.
All right. Well, why don't we start this hearing? Clerk will read the notice and we'll.
Okay. Legal notice. Notice is hereby given that the Townsend Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a virtual public hearing on October 19th, 2022 at 5:45 via Zoom conference on the application of Brendan Kavanaugh and Addison Newt for the property located at 161 Brookline Road, Assessors Map 38, Block 9, Lot 1. The applicant is requesting a special permit under 145-29C4 outlying commercial district. Uses allowed pursuant to 145-65 special permits of the Townsend zoning bylaws. Public may join this meeting using the link, Zoom link. The applicant is requesting a special permit to operate a storage facility. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the hearing or in writing prior to the hearing. Copies of this application are available for review at the town hall during business hours. William Cadigan, Chairman.
Okay, is there a motion to open the hearing?
So
Okay.
moved.
Polling the members, Vicky,
Yes.
Darlene,
Yes.
Dave Funioli,
Yes.
Dave Chanel,
Yes.
and Bill Cadigan votes yes as well, so we're open. I did take a drive up there yesterday afternoon, and it looked like it was in pretty good shape from compared to the original special permit. I thought we had requested plantings along Route 13.
Yeah, the one thing
That was true.
Yeah, the one thing that they didn't comply with was the plantings that were across, to shield the guy across the street. But Rich Hanks at the time, the building inspector, gave it to him without the plantings. But Bill, I asked Beth a couple days ago if she could reach out to the planning board, land use office, whatever, ask if there was any complaints since the storage facility opened in 2005 to see if there's any issues going on up there. I don't know, Beth, did you get any responses from anybody?
Yeah, the building commissioner reported no complaints have been filed. He checked the files,
Okay,
and that's all I got.
perfect.
Now, the comment I alluded to earlier, Dave, included those plantings, because I remember way back when we insisted on that, and there was a little bit of a pushback about it, but they did comply. There were some plantings, like 6 small trees were put up, and within a month, 2 of them were dead and the others didn't look too healthy. And then sometime over the course of the past 10, 12 years, the others were either cut down, taken out, or died, and whatever. So there's nothing up there shielding the neighbor across the street like we originally had asked for.
Well, he was an active participant in the hearings. If you remember, he came and he voiced his concern about being shielded but from the activity. But that's why we did that.
Yeah.
But
Well, his concern was the views and vistas part of the language of the permit.
yeah, but he hasn't complained. That's why I asked Beth if we had any complaints about it.
Yeah, nothing recent, but
I actually am the guy that lives across the street. I've been here for 11 years now.
You still there?
Hi,
How
we're
you
here.
doing? We're here.
Yeah,
But you weren't there in 2005 though, were you?
we were not.
We were not, nope.
Okay.
But we've been here since,
We've been here since 2011.
Could you identify yourself, please?
my name is John, last name Braga. I own 160 Brookline Street. So
Okay.
directly across the street.
Sorry about
All
that.
right, thank you. Just, I don't want to jump in your shoes here, Bill, but the way it works here is, during the meeting, even though it's virtual, normally you would, you don't speak until we have open it up to the floor for public comment, and you're recognized by the chair.
Sure.
Okay. And so if you're not speaking, we'd ask you to mute your microphone as well.
Okay.
All right. How do you want to do this, Bill?
Well, I'd like to hear from the applicant and, you know, according to the permit or the application, they don't want to change a thing. So I'd like to hear that in English.
Correct. Am I allowed to speak? My name's Addison.
Yes.
I'm
Sure.
listed on the agenda. Okay. Yeah, that was a good summary. Everything that you said is correct. Pretty much covering what I was going to say, which is we intend to purchase the property, and in order for us to legally continue the operation of those storage units without changing anything, we need to have this permit granted.
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is Brendan Kavanaugh. I'm the other applicant. Addison and I are business partners and friends. We're already in the process of purchasing it, and when we found out that this was necessary, we started this process right away. We've looked at the original permit as well and read it over. So we're familiar with the original provisions there, and we don't intend to change anything.
Well, yeah, okay, good. Any questions from the board?
Who's the current owner of the property?
It's Harrison still, isn't it?
Shane Donnelly, who's in this call now.
Yeah, he's on too.
So Harrison, the original permit was granted to Harrison, so he transferred the property between then and now.
Yeah, so the current owner actually did not know that this permit existed. It kind of, we discovered this just prior to closing. And so we had to postpone closing to go through this process.
The lender asking for it?
No.
Yeah,
When they found out it was even a possibility, they now require it. Yeah.
the lender didn't really know that this existed either until we told them.
Gotcha.
What
So
do
we
we
have
do
to-
for that one?
We have to
Our realtor, Josh
remember,
Monroe,
then
is
if we re-grant this, if we grant this permit, we have to remember to issue it to the potential buyers, subject to the purchase and sale. Is that how, Dave, is that how we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we submitted that with our application.
Yeah, yeah. They would actually have to have an executed PNS in order to proceed with this application, and they know that, I think.
Right.
Yes, we've submitted that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Chairman Gadigan, that is on file.
Okay.
Great.
All right, well, let's look at the special permit applicable codes. Here we go.
Do we have mandatory referrals on this to read in?
No comments were made. Mandatory referrals were sent out to the Board of Selectmen, Conservation, and Board of Health, and were returned with no comment.
All right, duly noted for the record.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can pull up the 05 screen share, the 05 decision, if that's helpful.
Well, I mean, this is what I was thinking, folks. I mean, if we go through this, the reason why I asked Beth to check, see if there's any complaints, and there was no complaints. If we're all happy with the way the operation is going, I mean, we can just incorporate by reference the previous decision and not have to go through, you know, the song and dance that we typically go through on a section, you know, on a special permit findings. If anybody's agreeing with that, I think that would be an easy way to go.
Sounds like the
we
right
have to
thing.
hear, we have to hear the public because there's a
Yeah.
lot of people on.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah.
everybody's got to have to say, but.
Do we
that
want
would be
to,
my proposal.
do we want to review the special permit section of that? And then.
I would go through it, yeah, Darlene,
Permit?
I would go
And
through
then-
it, but without having Beth recreate it, we could just, say it and just adopt it, and then the motion would be, if we agree to adopt pursuant to and incorporate by reference the decision of December 4th, 2005, 14th, 2005. That's what I would do.
Hmm.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I have it pulled up. Do you want me to read the criteria that we wrote on the first decision?
Sure.
So everybody knows what it is, and then we can open it up for public comment, see if anybody has
Yep.
any questions. All right, let's do that.
You talking about the findings of fact, Darlene?
Yeah,
Yeah, good, go for it. Yep.
let me just run through it. I've got it right here. So number one was all the mandatory referrals were read into the record, and we don't have any, so there were no comments. 2, the parcel is located in the outlying commercial district. 3, in terms of the bylaw, the zoning special permit decision to construct and operate 2 self-storage buildings within the outlying commercial district as follows. A, adequacy of the site in terms of the size for the proposed uses. The board found that the project fits the lot size for the proposed use, as it is 10.9% of the entire lot. I might as well ask, can I just ask a question while I've got that one? There's been no change to the size of the lot. You didn't acquire any property or sell any part of the lot off. All the dimensions are the same, or going to, I should say.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we certainly haven't, and we're not aware of anything like that.
Okay, great. B is suitability of the site for the proposed use. The board found the proposed commercial use is in the outlying commercial districts surrounded by residential districts. C is impact on traffic flow and safety. The board determined that there should be little to no impact with regard to traffic flow and safety. D, impact on neighborhood visual character, including views and vistas. The board determined that the improvement and maintenance of an elevated vegetated berm that includes coniferous trees at the edge of the road will serve to minimize the impact to the neighborhood. Adequacy of the method of sewage disposal, source of water and drainage. The board determined there is no issue. F, adequacy of utilities and other public services. The board determined there is no issue. G, impact on ground and surface water quality and other environmental and natural resource considerations. The board determined that there is no issue since the applicant had obtained a permit from the Conservation Commission for work in a riverfront area. And then, want me to go over the conditions that we put on the end too, since we're getting it all out there? Or
Let's talk, I'd like to talk about the impact of the views, because that was a question initially, and Dave brought it up.
Yep. D,
So maybe we could ask the people across the street what their position is on the visual characteristics.
Mr. Donnelly.
Where is he?
I think I bored him.
You're muted, sir.
Well, he unmuted and then he.
Are you looking for me?
There he is.
Oh, hi, how you doing? I appreciate you taking the time to reach out and talk to me about that. Yeah, I mean, I would really like to see something done a little bit with that berm cleaned up. It has been an eyesore for a little while. I mean, I try not to complain or anything. I've been here, like I said, 11, 12 years, and it was an eyesore when I bought my place. Let me tell you, it was rough over here. I'm a landscaper by trade, so I've been cleaning it up over the years, and yeah, I don't mind having a nice view and seeing something nice across the street. I mean, that would be ideal.
well, especially since the permit called for it.
I mean, more or less just to block the lighting. When the cars kind of pull up and sit there, I get a lot of light shining towards my house and in the windows and stuff. And I mean, that would be great if we could do. I mean, anything really is better than nothing, so I can't complain there.
I guess the question, if you're a landscaper, what could you use conifers or something to do this? I mean,
Sure.
So-
I mean, hemlocks are a good suggestion. I mean, evergreens, just because they're deciduous and they keep their evergreens, so they're non-deciduous, so they don't drop their leaves. Yeah, I mean, anything really evergreen related would be fantastic over there.
There isn't. I was looking at that bank, and it seems like there's only about, I don't know, 6 to 8 feet of, and it drops off pretty sharp. So I say it's the definition of well drained. So that may be what the problem is. That none of the vegetation can hold enough water to survive there.
I mean, you'd have to put gator bags on it or water it, to get it through the first couple seasons. It's been tough for me on my end, keeping my stuff alive. I know that, so
Hey, so
it's
I think
doable.
what we could do then, if we go through and if we adopt the conditions of the previous permit, then they would have to, as part of their, you'd have to work it out with the present owner as far as whether or not you're going to get a credit or have him do it, but to put plantings on the berm. I mean, that's what the original permit required.
Required that they be put in and maintained, which apparently never happened because they were all dead and gone.
Yeah.
Well, there's no real retaining wall to hold that berm, is there? I don't remember seeing whether there's a retaining wall there.
No, there's no wall there.
Chain
No
link fence down near the road, and that's about it.
Yeah. Right. The chain link fence is one side, and then the other side, there's nothing to hold the dirt or the water or anything. All
I
right.
think we'll figure out what to do. They require, first couple of years you plant something like that, they need a lot of water.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, we can add that in. What do you want to do next, Bill?
So do we want to vote on those findings of fact or are we just going to say we're going to incorporate the previous decision?
I'm thinking we might be able to incorporate the previous decision with the, well, actually, that is in there, the evergreen. Want me to read the conditions and see if there's if all that's good too?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
but you
also,
would-
did we hear from everyone who wants to comment at this point?
Not yet.
That was a specific question, though. I don't think just to go
Okay.
back to the procedure, if you incorporate perhaps the decision in its entirety, then you don't have to recreate the wheel. So if we go through the entire process and if we agree with everything, including the fact that there's a berm requirement for plantings, then you just adopt, incorporate in its entirety, the entire thing, and then you're done.
Okay.
Well, Dave, I'd throw something out looking at some paperwork I've got here. Do you remember our last meeting where we talked about the fact with special permits, basically once granted, kind of live forever unless we condition them with a duration?
Yeah, I was going to make the motion and insert a sunset provision in there.
Well, before you do that, if we follow the last decision, according to the paperwork in the last decision, there was a duration of 2 years included.
Now, that 2 years, David, applies for any construction starting on the special permit. That's what the 2 years is. It's if you
Okay.
get the permit and it doesn't start, you don't start the construction, it lapses. That's
Okay.
actually under the state.
Okay, good. Now that I see that, I understand that. Okay.
So Darlene, does that work for you?
Does what work for me?
Just incorporating the previous decision by reference?
Sure, but I think we should review the conditions that are on there first.
yep.
and still agree with them. Yeah,
I agree.
absolutely. It's the best way to handle it. Want me to read them?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Conditions. 1, pursuant to the plans numbered as 7 sheets and entitled Proposed Storage Facility, Townsend, Mass, Brookline Road, dated August 15th, 2005, and revised on November 2nd, 2005, and December 8th, 2005, as submitted on December 14th, 2005. Structures shall be constructed of green siding with rawhide trim. Hours of operation, we had weekdays 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturdays 8 to 8, Sundays 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And lighting shall be installed pursuant to the plan submitted in accordance with the Townsend lighting bylaw. And number 5, vegetated buffer adjacent to the road shall be improved and maintained with appropriate coniferous plantings. And number 6, spacing of the coniferous plantings and the vegetated buffer shall not exceed 6 feet. And that was that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Is there a motion?
Well, why don't we open up?
Wait a minute,
let's
wait a minute. I forgot. I got to ask for comments.
Yeah,
Anybody want to say anything about for or against this permit?
I'll pop on. My name is Shane. I am happy to provide those plans are necessary, and if I forget his name, I'm sorry, but the neighbor across the street, if he wants to take that on, I'll happily pay him as well. Kind of get this together, so it'll be up to his standard, and then when the current owners take over, we'll be good to go, and hopefully everyone's happy.
Shane, are you the current owner?
Yes, sir, I am. And the Kings were owners before me, who bought it from, I believe, where this initial permit was issued. So it skipped a couple times. So I called them about this too. But yes, I am the current owner. Yes, sir.
So you guys work together on that berm area?
That works. And if I can swing by his house or building. I don't want to invite myself over, but I can give him my contact information. I drive by there every day, so be happy to handle it that way.
Perfect.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if you stop by. I'm usually home after 4:30, so you can swing in any day.
Awesome. And what's your name? I'm sorry.
My first name's John.
John Shane. I'll swing by tomorrow and introduce myself.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'll be here. Thank you.
Okay, I saw a hand from Annette Martello. You're muted still.
Okay. We have no problem with adopting this motion or the permit. The only thing that we want to make sure that no trees between our properties are removed. We want to make sure that we have the screening there now that, in the future, that nothing is going to change. As long as it stays the way it is, we have no problem whatsoever. We're right next door coming from the center where the Blue Cape at 137.
Okay.
We just want to make sure, we don't see it from our
Yeah.
front yard or the side of our house. That's all.
Sounds Addison, Brendan, what do you think?
I think that's agreeable.
Yeah.
Very
we would
good.
have no issue of
There you go.
changing that.
I love when a
see-
plan comes together. It's good.
I see another hand from Kathy Caputo.
She raised her hand. I don't see it.
Well, it's a bionic hand.
Oh. Where'd she go? She's muted.
Chairman Cadigan, if I may, I believe the name on the screen was not the same. I believe it was Annette Martello who just spoke.
Right, there was somebody else with the screen name of Kathy Caputo that had her hand raised.
Yeah, so her comment's been captured. Annette,
Annette has, but Kathy hasn't.
I think they're one and the same, but you can ask Annette.
Nope, she's shrugging her shoulders, so.
Yeah, I don't know
Oh,
who
Okay.
that is.
because
All
when
right.
you turn off your camera,
Well,
it says Kathy.
There's no bionic hand that Kathy.
Well, I'm going to leave the meeting because my husband and I are satisfied with everything that's been said. So I'll leave and then you won't have to worry about it. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I guess we're ready for a motion then.
Well, the first one would be, Darlene, you want to recreate your past motion from 2005 on the section 6 finding?
Sure, why not? So I move that the proposed use or the existing use, the proposed use will not have adverse effects which overbalance its overbalance its beneficial effects on either the neighborhood or the town in view of the particular characteristics of the site.
I'll second.
Okay, polling the members, Vicky,
Yes.
Darlene,
Yes.
David Funioli,
Yes.
Dave Chanel,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. Motion carries. So now we need a motion for the special permit.
Okay, so what I'm thinking to do, Bill, is to adopt, like I said, exactly, and with the addition to put a sunset provision on this thing, so it's very clear that upon transfer or conveyancing of the property, that it, the special permit expires or terminates.
Right,
Okay,
sounds good.
everybody agree with that? Well, I guess that's the motion anyway, so we'll see if they agree. So I'll make a motion to grant the special permit. Let me start that again. I apologize. Here's my I'll make a motion that we approve the special permit to Brendan Kavanaugh and Addison Newt and adopt by reference in its entirety the decision dated December 14th, 2005, with the additional caveat that the special permit shall terminate upon the conveyancing or transfer of said property.
Second.
Okay, polling the members, Vicky,
Yes.
Darlene,
Yeah.
Dave Funioli,
Yes.
Dave Chanel,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. Motion carries. So we have 14 days to file the decision with the town clerk, and you'll get a copy in the mail with the town clerk stamp showing you the date it was filed. And so there's two things that will happen. There's a 20-day appeal period for a special permit. At the end of the 20 days, you can ask the town clerk for a letter saying that no appeals have been filed. And meanwhile, you can record this decision at the Registry of Deeds in, South Middlesex, basically Cambridge. Well, can you go to, I can't remember if you can go to Lowell these days or not.
Well, we file all our documents online right from my office, so it's not like it used to be anymore. If you guys are going to be doing a closing, I would just wrap it up into the closing papers. Just link them all together. Do it one shot.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
Who's that?
Brendan.
Oh, there you go. Sorry.
So we have to, there's a mandatory 20-day appeal period. You said after this decision, is there any interim paperwork that we receive just because the bank wanted proof of the permit by November 4th, which if there's a 20-day waiting period and then an additional did you say an additional 14-day?
Well, we have
period?
14 days to file the decision. Now, depending on the workload in the office, it may be quicker than that.
Okay.
Um,
And then a 20-day waiting period or appeal period?
Yeah, the appeal period is starts when the day the decision is filed with the town clerk.
That's state statute. We can't shrink that down. That has to be there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there any way to get any letter saying that we're just in that appeal period?
If I may, Chairman Cadigan, I should be able to go ahead and prepare this decision for tomorrow, if that's
There you
helpful.
go.
And if I could get a vote, please, to have Chairman Cadigan sign on behalf of
Yeah,
the board.
I'll make a
Oh.
motion that we appoint Bill Cadigan as a signing authority for all of us on this.
Polling the members, Vicky,
Oh, yes.
Darlene,
Yes.
Dave Funioli,
Yes.
Dave Chanel,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes as well. Okay.
So Brenna, just to answer the question, if Beth can get you that decision, you're gonna
Mhm.
get that, and that should be proof for your funding for
Yeah, okay.
your mortgage company.
Okay, great. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
But I wouldn't close on the property until the 20, objection deadline. Then you can just roll it in with your regular closing documents.
Okay, all right.
Just a suggestion. I mean, I'm not your attorney. I just play one on TV.
Uh, Josh Mello is our realtor. Josh, I don't know, does that sound good? Or I don't know if you have anything to say particular about it.
No, I mean, if it's great if Beth can get it filed quickly, then that would be super helpful for us.
Yeah, the clock starts, I think it's the day after it's issued, so it's 20 full days. So that
Yeah.
would start on the 21st, Friday.
Okay, thank you.
So with those two documents, the letter from the town clerk and the evidence of recording, you're not going to need a building permit, but anyway, that would allow you to go to the building department and get, everything copacetic, basically.
Great. Sweet. All
All right.
Good.
right, good luck, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Have a good night.
Do we want to go through some of this correspondence? I saw the letter from Jessica Consalvo saying that the kennel doesn't need a RDA.
Oh, I didn't see that.
No, it's in there. I don't know if that's the bottom line from the Conservation Commission yet or not, so.
Okay, I didn't read that.
But anyway, we're not handling that until
That's-
November 30th.
That's the late one, yeah, 30.
Yeah, okay. And Stan Dillis, letter from Stan about the excavation over there at the farm that Gary Shepherd bought from.
Bill,
Yeah,
is the meeting still on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. I thought that was an adjournment. I apologize.
Well, that's the most important. That's most interesting. The rest of the stuff is going to be administrative BS. So
Did not hear that.
it's not, I wouldn't have said it if it was being recorded.
So let's see. Yeah, so I don't think we have anything to say about that. He's just telling us that they're going to continue the excavation project at that farm in West
Okay.
End.
Can I just ask, when does that expire, and will they need to reapply with the new owner?
Because we didn't put a sunset in that, I don't think it expired.
Okay.
And but there is a limit. There is a time limit for earth removal, so I'm sure that's in the permit. So I don't know what it is, but whenever that time limit, is it 3 years for earth removal? I can't remember.
That's what it says on Stan's letter.
Okay.
I didn't realize that either.
I thought it was 2.
No, I think we gave him. I think it's 3 years for earth removal.
Well, they're requesting for 3 years, but I'm looking at the permit and I don't know where it is. I don't see it.
The
Well,
bylaws
it's-
section
yeah.
for earth removal, does that have its own built-in
I
termination clause?
believe so, yes.
I believe it
doesn't-
has its own built-in termination, earth removal.
So that's what it'll be. I mean, the issue we had with just the one we just had, there's no termination in anything in the bylaw. That's why we got to start putting them in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because if they had to do the transfer, then they'd come in again for the permit.
Well, it gives you a chance to revisit any conditions. Like if we had complaints from previous owners, then we would have been able to rectify the issues with a
Yeah.
new permit.
Is that on our checklist, Beth has a nice little checklist she gives. Maybe that should be on it, along with us making a motion for Bill to sign decisions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's gonna be on a case-by-case basis, Darlene, you know.
I know, but it's just a little checklist for us.
Just to
make
remind
sure-
us. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
like a
yeah,
reminder.
yeah,
That's
good.
a great idea. I'll make sure I do that.
Sometimes we get a little too excited to be done.
I thought I had opened this goofy Stan Dillis thing.
It's like a 5-line letter. Want me to read it?
Sure.
So the property has transferred ownership. It is currently owned by Gary Shevin by deed recorded book 80515, page 103. On behalf of Ambrose Corporation permit holder, we request an extension of the earth excavation permit recorded, attached copy for 3 years. Please note any future requests will be made by the new owner. I think, well, if it was transferred and it was already past the 3 years, I think he's got to have a new permit.
Right.
I just wish
Yeah.
I could find that.
We
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever extended a earth removal permit before.
Nope. Okay.
Not after the
Especially for a new
guess that
owner.
happened in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
All that.
With Jimmy Craven.
That's the name. I couldn't remember the there was another gentleman that I actually chased him as an attorney. I chased him in Florida because one of my clients had some issues with that project.
Okay, so Chairman Cadigan, I'll reach out to respond to this letter with a notification that the new owner needs a new filing with the Zoning Board of Appeals for a special permit for this excavation, earth excavation request. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. And hallelujah, the dog grooming bylaw.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
All right, anything else? I gotta go eat.
Okay. You don't want to talk. You don't want to talk about the senior thing that from the planning board.
Age restricted planning
Age
board.
Other than I think they missed the boat, and I guess I'm gonna have to go to some planning board meetings and say that, I guess. I don't know.
But they sent us a mandatory referral for what they are proposing to change. That's what.
For those particular changes that they're sending us for comment, I think is great because that's already been discussed and kind of everyone agreed that shouldn't be in there. But for the stuff that Bill's brought up, wouldn't a little bit more thought have to go into some of this? You take everything into consideration. I thought when we were discussing some of that, we were going to try to see what properties might, identify some stuff so that you can actually change the criteria so that it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Or we're going to keep finding, oh, well, maybe we need this amendment, that amendment every time we go down the road. It just seems it needs to be a more thoughtful process. And I don't know the history of what they've done to come up with this criteria. It just seems like you would want to incorporate some downtown commercial, make it walkable.
But Darlene, what about just the 4 items that they're talking about now? I thought, Vicky, you didn't like something that they had in here.
Yeah, there's they've added 8, which maybe I'm not understanding the context, but what it says is the planning board may in its reasonable discretion reduce, alter, or waive any or all of the foregoing basic requirements upon demonstration by an applicant of just cause for such a reduction, alteration, or waiver.
Yeah, that's arbitrary and capricious.
Yeah, so why
Yeah.
criteria then, if you just.
Yeah,
gonna
it
make up as you
needs to
go
have, it needs to have, criteria to me.
Yeah,
So I think that's my comment back.
But
Well, the planning board is used to working with subdivision control law, okay, which is it's not chapter 40. Well, maybe it is, but it's not the one that we use. It's not 48 that we use. But And people apply for waivers from the subdivision control rules and regulations all the time. And the planning board basically has to weigh those requests for waivers. You know, it's like on that goofy, can't remember, Seaver Road development. They were looking for something like 40 waivers from the subdivision.
So, Bill, are you saying that it already happens? They're just looking to put a code. They're just trying to codify it in the bylaw, basically.
Well, the thing is, I don't think that age restricted. I don't think it's part of the subdivision control law. So it's a separate bylaw. So I think you're right. You probably have to put some criteria in here for determining whether a waiver under the bylaw is appropriate or not.
So you want to just, so our comment would be, we agree with 1, 2, and 3, but on number 4, we believe that specific criteria should be incorporated for consideration of waiving, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And we could refer them to our special to the special permit section.
So does everybody agree with that then?
Can you repeat your comment?
No, I said, so we agree with items 1, 2, and 3, but suggest that there be specific criteria for any basis of waiver, as opposed to any and all. It's arbitrary. I mean, if you want to get legal, it's arbitrary and capricious, which is what we're judged on if our decisions go to court.
Yeah.
You just can't any and all. Any board which changes the makeup, anytime the planning board changes, the conditions change. How can you do that? You have to have specific lists of criteria for waiver.
Yep.
So it survives personalities of changes on the board. Is that what you meant to say, Vicky?
Yes.
Okay,
Sounds good.
good catch. I wouldn't have.
So do we need a motion to respond to that, or we just consensus is good enough?
No,
Okay.
not for a mandatory referral.
Yeah.
Chair
Beth,
can write it.
yeah, and you got it, Beth?
Yeah, I will definitely transcribe that. And the public hearing is Monday night at 6:45. It's hybrid. So if anybody would like to join in, I think the discussion, as you said, are on the proposed amendments, but I also believe that the floor should be open to your particular other ideas too. That's just my thought. I mean, if you have a proposal, now's the time. This is
Bill, if you could do that, I'm line dancing on Monday night, so I can't. I got my cowboy boots on, so I can't do it.
Oh, are you still doing that? Cool.
I bet. Yeah, Karina and I. Yeah, she can do it again. So we started doing it in the
wild.
spring.
That's wild, David. Take some pictures.
No.
Take some videos.
No. Curtains are drawn. The lights are down. No cameras allowed.
All right. Are we, is everybody happy now? Or is Beth okay with this? All right.
Yeah.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So be it.
Second.
Second.
Polling the members, Vicky,
Yes.
Darlene,
Yes.
Dave Funioli,
Yes.
Dave Chanel,
Yep.
and I'll vote yes too. Thank you very much.